Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. You guys know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button for me. Hit the subscribe if you're new, and ding that notification bell so you're instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. Today, we're back talking about some more Philadelphia 76ers news, and boy, oh boy, do the things keep on rolling. We got some spicy topics to cover today, but first and foremost, before we go ahead and get to that, man, I want to talk about two things real quick. Number one, as of last night, the Philadelphia 76ers re-signed Ryan Broekhoff. Broekhoff, a 30-year-old shooting guard who most recently played with the Mavericks. If you guys remember, was supposed to come to the bubble with the Sixers. We had signed him right before when the NBA had announced they were coming back. I believe his wife got sick, which is why he opted to stay out, and much respect to him. I hope everything is going well. The Sixers re-sign him. They take a chance. He's a guy who has shot 40% from three for his career, but he does only average around 8 to 10 minutes a game. He'll give you maybe 5 points a game, so I don't want to look too far into that. Really, what this is just another opportunity, a low risk, maybe high reward type of player. You never know. In my opinion, it's nothing too crazy. I don't think he's going to end up making the roster. He may, depending on what happens, maybe at the end of the rotation for a little bit here and there. But overall, nothing too crazy. But Daryl Morey is trying to attract more shooting to this team, so we'll see how that works out. Number two, I don't know if you guys saw this, but ESPN had projected this lineup as the starting lineup for the Philadelphia 76ers this next year. And I just wanted to take a moment with you guys and just laugh. I mean, are we kidding? Does the national media watch the Sixers? Are we on the same page? I mean, do I even have to say it? I mean, you know, we had a problem with forwards and centers here, right? And that's the starting projected lineup. I mean, come on, man. It doesn't get better than that. That's why I love coming up on here and talking to the realest of the real Sixers fans, man. It's awesome. But, hey, putting that aside, getting to what the video is actually about today, the meat and potatoes of this video, boy, oh boy, am I excited. I'm tingling. Because just as of about 30 minutes ago, I'm scrolling through Twitter and this comes up. That is right. Apparently, according to Mark Stein, teams around the league expect Lou Williams to be on the trading block. And oh my gosh, if there's never been a more perfect fit than Philadelphia. I mean, it's calling out his name. Let's go through it, man. Lou Williams, a second-round pick by the Sixers back in 2005, played with us for 6 seasons, really started to blossom in the early stage of his career. I'll never forget. I was younger, but I'll never forget watching him and Drew Holiday play together. I mean, this team was awesome. Guard play, right? What do the Sixers need right now? Guard play. Lou Williams, I mean, he's blossomed. I mean, he has become a true professional throughout his career, just going around to multiple destinations, you know, finding his role. I love Lou Williams because he understands his role. And even in the last couple years, the guy with the LA Clippers, he averages 20 points a night off the bench. Now, I know he plays starter minutes, but he accepted that 6-man role, and he's really just taken full advantage of it. I mean, everything fits, right? The Sixers need guard play. We need a guy who can play the 1 or the 2, can be versatile. That's Lou Williams. We need a guy who's versatile on the offensive side of the ball, can help create his own shot, can knock down from deep. That's Lou Williams, a 35% career shooter from 3. Again, he averages 18, 20 off the bench a night. Every single night he comes out to play. He'll give you 6 assists. He'll give you a couple rebounds. He's a decent defender, but his defensive ability, especially with the right system, is elevated because you know what he has? The one thing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. That's heart. Lou Williams has heart. He's going to come out every night. He's one of these classic old-fashioned vets, all right? He doesn't, you know, fall into line with a lot of the generation nowadays. He's just tough. He's going to come out and he's going to bust it every single night. It's exactly what we need. Lou Williams is tied for the most 6-man awards ever, and 2 of them have come in the last 3 years. Again, and guess who those were under? Doc Rivers with LA. I mean, everything connects. Everything is perfect for Lou Williams to come in here. Shot 35% from three last year, but that's fine. Everything he's able to do. He can even play off the ball or on the ball with Ben Simmons on the floor, or however we decide to use this guy. I've always said Doc Rivers needs that six-man type of piece on the floor that always elevates the guys around him. I feel like Doc has always tried to incorporate a guy like that into his team. I thought it was going to be Matisse this year, but if we're able to snag Lou Williams as well, I mean, imagine the bench that we're going to have, possibly. I mean, it's crazy. He could probably win another six-man here. He might even be in line to be a starter here, but I do think he has embraced that six-man role. I think he would come off the bench, and I think he would flourish, and man, oh man, imagine 10, 12 years later watching Lou Williams back in Philadelphia, how the times have changed, and potentially being that piece that could push us. Look, he's not a third star. He's not, a Zach LaVine, a guy like that, but he could definitely give this team a huge boost and really make us a contender, especially in the playoffs. You know why? Because he hits big shots. We're talking about we need a bucket getter. We need a go-getter when the times are tough. Lou Williams is going to go out and get you a bucket. I've seen him in the last couple years hit big shots, hit game winners. Lou Williams is a guy that we could desperately use in so many ways. And man, if he comes back to Philadelphia, Daryl Morey, look, Lou Williams is being paid $8 million next year. It's the last year of his contract. He would be acquired via trade. I don't think you could demand a first rounder for Lou Will. I think you maybe have to throw in a second or 2 seconds, maybe a player. And the player that we throw in could help, kind of level off that salary maybe a little bit. They'll probably look for a Shake Milton, a Mike Scott, a guy like that. They're going to try to get his salary off there and get some picks. Oh man, $8 million is nothing. I know we've complained that we didn't go out and get a DJ Augustine for $7 million, but that's DJ Augustine. We didn't go out and get this guard for this amount, but that's him. This is Lou Williams. He's in a different tier. I am willing to throw cash to get the 34-year-old vet in here because he's going to do damage. Now, the next guy that we are going to discuss is another piece I could see the Sixers acquiring via trade, and I think it would be plentiful for this roster, man. Listen, Derrick Rose. D Rose, obviously the former MVP, had the catastrophic injury and all, but man, has he been balling out the last couple years. I actually made a video months back talking about the top trade targets for the Sixers this offseason, and D Rose was on the list. A lot of people gave me heat for it, saying, oh, we don't need a guard like that right now, that isn't a proven shooter, and blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? Well, guess what? Given the situation we're at now, we got a competent front office, Al's contract's off the books, we need a substantial guard play, we need depth at that position. Guess what? D Rose would be another solid option for this team. Derrick Rose, last season and the season before, averaged over 18 points a game off the bench. He's bounced around. I feel like he's kind of hit a revival in his career. 32 years old. He's also going to give you close to 6 assists a night. He can play starter minutes, but he can also come off the bench as well. Who knows? D Rose maybe could even be a starter on this team. We really don't know. But either way, we need that veteran presence coming in off the bench, right? JJ Redick said it best a couple weeks ago or a month or whatever in his podcast. We needed a glue guy. We needed a guy who's going to bring it all together, can shoot, but and can, play well and provide substantial minutes and play for this team, but we need a guy who's going to put it all together. I think we could use the toughness of a Lou Will or a Derrick Rose as well. D Rose can handle himself as well on both sides of the ball. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to attack and drive to the rack. And, even though Derrick Rose only shot 30% from three last year, he shot 37% the year before. He was on a Pistons team that was falling downhill last year, but what did he do? He stepped up and he continues to make a career for himself, and given his journey, given everything the guy has gone through, man, I mean, Derrick Rose is just a guy you just respect when he comes into that locker room. And again, he's going to be able to give us, similar to what Lou Will would give us, 25 minutes, 28 minutes off the bench a night, scoring, setting up other guys for success. Toughness, veteran presence, the glue guy, like I said, all of it together, man. Derrick Rose might be a little iffy. I thought the Pistons were going to go into a full rebuild mode. I really don't know what the heck they're doing with all these centers and forwards, paying Jeremy Grant, Jahlil Okafor, etc. But at this point, I could see the Pistons trying to get a salary like D Rose out of there if they don't view him as part of the future. I know he was trying to get moved at the deadline last year. The Lakers couldn't pull off a deal. But what I do know is that Derrick Rose would come in and be a valuable asset to this team. I think he's being paid $7.5 million or a little bit above that for next season, and then that's the last year of his contract as well. Lou Will and D Rose are both going into the last year of their contract. You might think it's a little bit of a high price, but again, Derrick Rose would also have to be acquired via trade. They would probably ask for maybe an asset back, maybe something that could take a little bit off of that price. Derrick Rose, I don't think you can really ask for a first round either. Maybe not, though. They might ask and a team might overpay it, but I wouldn't do that given the fact he is 32 and we know all the injury concerns, right? We know Derrick Rose's injury history. So if I'm the Sixers, man, I'm offering a second, maybe a couple seconds for either of these guys, maybe a player or whatever else you have to do. But at the end of the day, we need sufficient guard depth. We need guys, and like Daryl Morey said, he said we're not really going to touch this roster too much more until we get into the season and see our needs. But what we do know is that we need depth at the guard position, and we could always use a glue guy that's going to come in and make his impact and make his presence felt. Get Lou Williams to Philly or get Derrick Rose to Philly. It's the perfect situation. You guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.